Justice in the parking lot. It was a lazy Sunday afternoon in suburban Ohio, the kind where the air feels soft and the world moves slow. I was out running errands with my son, Timmy, 8 years old and small for his age, but with eyes that caught everything: a squirrel darting up a tree, a dog barking across the street. He'd saved up $5 to buy treats for our neighbor's terrier, Rusty, and he clutched those crumpled bills like they were a treasure map. We were headed to the grocery store, just a quick in and out, nothing special. But in 10 minutes, that quiet day would turn into one I'd never forget. A woman would hurt my son, and I'd make sure she paid a price she'd never live down. Want to know what happened? Stick with me. It's a story about justice, raw and real. Timmy was humming as we crossed the parking lot of Harper's Market, a strip mall staple where everybody knows everybody. The sky was overcast, the lot half empty. He stopped dead when he saw a fluffy spaniel in the back of a shiny black SUV, its nose pressed against the window, tail wagging like a metronome. Timmy didn't touch the car. He just waved, grinned, and whispered, "Hey, buddy." I was a few steps behind, checking my phone for the shopping list, thinking about ground beef and milk. That was my mistake. I let my guard down. Then I heard it. The sharp click of heels, fast and deliberate, like a hammer on hardwood. A voice cut through the air, cold and commanding. "Get away from my car." I looked up, and there she was, Eleanor Price, late 50s, platinum hair pulled into a bun so tight it looked painful, wearing oversized sunglasses and a starched beige skirt. She radiated control, the kind of woman who'd send a waiter back for a smudge on a fork. Her face wasn't angry, it was disgusted, like Timmy was a stray dog sniffing her property. Timmy stepped back, eyes wide. "I didn't touch it," he said, voice small. Eleanor didn't care. "I don't care what you were doing. Back off." I started toward them, waving a hand. "Hey, he's just looking at the dog. He's not hurting anything." She ignored me, marched to the SUV, and in one fluid motion, yanked open the driver's door and slammed it shut right onto Timmy's arm. The sound was sickening, a dull thud that stopped my heart. Timmy froze, then let out a scream that tore through me. He dropped to his knees, clutching his arm, face twisted in pain. Eleanor didn't flinch, didn't apologize. She just clicked her key fob to unlock the car again, like he was a bug she'd flicked off her shoe. "Maybe next time he'll stay away," she said, stepping around him. "That's how accidents happen." I knelt beside Timmy, my hands shaking as I checked his arm. It was swelling fast, red and angry. "You slammed a door on my kid's arm," I said, voice low, barely controlled. Eleanor scoffed. "He shouldn't have been near my car. I don't know what people like you teach your kids, but mine knew better. People like you." The words hit like a slap. She stepped toward the rear door, where Timmy's other hand was braced on the pavement, trying to hold himself up. "Don't," I growled. She didn't listen. She opened the door and brought her heel down on his hand, hard. Timmy screamed again, louder, his body curling in on itself. Eleanor didn't even blink. That was it. Something inside me snapped, not broke, but snapped clean, like a wire under too much strain. I stood, slow and deliberate. Eleanor turned, and for the first time, I saw her hesitate. She should have run. Timmy was curled at my feet, shaking, his cries ripping me apart. Eleanor brushed her blouse like she'd stepped in mud. "You need to control your child," she said, loud enough for the growing crowd to hear. "This is why people like you shouldn't be near decent folks' property." "You assaulted my son," I said, fists clenched so tight my knuckles cracked. She smirked. "Oh, please. He's being dramatic." If he wasn't flailing like some unsupervised brat, I cut her off. "Say one more word." My voice wasn't loud, but it was sharp, like a blade. She tilted her head, smirked again, and said it. "Kids like him act like animals. What do you expect?" That was it. My vision narrowed, my jaw locked. I scanned the lot and saw Ida fire extinguisher, bright red, mounted on a pole 5 feet away. I ripped it off, turned, and drove it through her driver's side window. Glass exploded inward, the alarm screamed, and Eleanor shrieked, stumbling back. I dropped the extinguisher and locked eyes with her. "Now you'll see what it feels like when someone smaller gets hurt and the world hits back." She tried to run, but I was faster. I vaulted the hood, grabbed her wrist as she reached for the passenger door. "Let go," she spat. "You're insane." I yanked her back, her heels scraping asphalt. "You don't get to hurt a child," and walk away. Her sunglasses flew off, revealing pale, sharp eye scared now, not mocking. I'll press charges, she screamed. I dragged her to the driver's side. Good. Explain why my son's hand looks like roadkill. I slammed her against the SUV, her back hitting the metal with a thud. She clawed at me, but I didn't budge. You crushed his arm, then stepped on the one he had left. I pulled her forward and slammed her upper body across the hood. The metal rang. Her hands scrambled for grip, her perfect bun unraveling. Stop, she screamed. Somebody stop him. No one moved. Phones were out, filming, but not a soul stepped in. I leaned close to her ear. You smiled while he screamed. Now I'll show you what screaming feels like. I pressed her down harder, her cheeks smacking the hood, her blouse snagging on the wiper. She didn't look powerful now. He got too close to my property, she spat. You people have no respect. My fist slammed the metal beside her head. Not her, just the car. That's my son. Not you people. Not an animal. The crowd was silent, phones still raised. I grabbed her collar, ripped her off the hood. Her blouse tore, and she stumbled to her knees. Get up, I said. She stayed down, chest heaving, makeup smeared. Get up. I hauled her to her feet, turned her to face Timmy, still on the curb, holding his arm, wide-eyed. Go apologize. Now. Eleanor sneered, even on her knees. You're out of your mind. You'll go to jail for this. I stepped closer, and she flinched. I pointed to Timmy. Look at him. She resisted, head turned away. I twisted her wrist not to break, just to remind her I could. Look at him. She turned, face pale, and finally saw the boy she'd tried to step over. Say it, I said. This is ridiculous, she muttered. He's not even hurt that bad. I moved again, slamming her against the hood, harder this time. Her breath knocked out, the crowd gasped. I grabbed her neck, leaned close. You'll apologize. Not because I say so, but because that boy is 10 times the human you'll ever be. Her voice cracked. I'm sorry. Louder. To whom? She jumped when my palm hit the hood. I'm sorry to the boy. I let go. She staggered, trying to recompose herself, but it was gone, her pride, her control. I walked to the front of the SUV, raised both hands, and drove my forearms into her back. Her body hit the windshield, glass spiderwebbing instantly. She screamed, collapsed onto the hood, blouse torn, mascara streaking. A woman in the crowd whispered. She just got folded like a lawn chair. I stood over her. That was the sound of justice. Eleanor didn't move, sprawled like a broken doll, one hand clawing the cracked glass. The lot was silent except for the SUV's alarm. Someone spoke up. Isn't that Eleanor Price, the HOA president? Another voice. She's had complaints for years. Kicked my cousin's cat last summer. Eleanor whimpered. I didn't mean to. He was in the way. I stepped closer. We understand perfectly. She tried to sit up, shaking. They'll arrest you. They'll ruin you. I shrugged. Maybe, but not before the truth ruins you. She begged, turn the cameras off. No one did. The damage was done not by my hands, but by her actions. By the time the cops arrived, Eleanor was on her feet, arms crossed over her torn blouse, trying to spin the story. She claimed I attacked her unprovoked, but the video's 15 angles circulating online showed everything. Her slamming the door on Timmy's arm, stepping on his hand, smiling. The officers separated us, took statements. Timmy went to urgent care bruised, but okay. Eleanor screamed about calling the mayor, but by sunset, she was trending. Eleanor crushed child, justice in the lot. The next morning, her HOA voted her out unanimously. By noon, she lost her Chamber of Commerce role. By evening, her charity gala sponsors pulled out. Her pristine lawn, once her pride, was vandalized with a mode message, not above the law. Eleanor didn't press charges. She didn't show her face. She vanished. A week later, I saw her again. Timmy had a follow-up appointment, and we stopped at the park to feed the ducks. On the way home, we pulled into Harper's Market, and there she was, orange vest, scrubbing gum off the sidewalk with a wire brush, a community service sign hanging from her chest. Her platinum hair was gone, replaced by a gray ponytail, her hands raw. People passed, some sneered, and one kid snapped a selfie behind her. She didn't look up until I stood there, silent. When she saw me, her hands froze, her mouth twitched. She looked down and kept scrubbing. A boy with a balloon pointed. Mommy, why's that lady cleaning the ground? His mother muttered. Some people forget how to treat others, and life reminds them. Timmy stayed in the car, but he saw her. Was that her? He asked. I nodded. We drove off, the rearview mirror catching one last glimpse of a woman who once thought she owned the world. At home, Timmy drew again not dogs, but people. One sketch showed a tall figure shielding a small boy in him. He asked, "She's never coming back, is she?" I pulled him close. She might try, but the world sees her now. He nodded. It still hurts sometimes. Not my arm, just what she said. I swallowed hard. Nothing she said was true. You're kind. You're good. You did nothing wrong. He smiled, small but real. She couldn't break us. Later, I got a photo of Eleanor outside the courthouse, holding a sign. I heard a child. I'm sorry. Court mandated, public, final. The next day, Timmy wanted to hit the park again. As we left, he turned to me. Dad, thanks for not letting her win. I knelt. She never had a chance. This wasn't about revenge. It was about making sure no one hurts a child and walks away. Eleanor lost her status, her power, her illusion of being untouchable. Sometimes, justice isn't a gavel, it's a cracked windshield, a silent crowd, and a woman on her knees, scrubbing the ground she once ruled. What do you think? Have you ever faced someone like Eleanor, who thought they could bully their way through life? Comment below, share your story or your stance. Is violence ever justified to protect someone you love, or does it make us as bad as the bully? Let's talk about justice, injustice, and where you draw the line. Like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more stories that make you think.